Welcome to Olympian Cares, giving you the best in water testing and analysis. Today we're looking at Olympian Cares and talking about water quality in rural homes. Now, you may be in a rural area. You may be in Staten Island, or you might be in a city like Manhattan, Queens, or another area. But it's still a good idea to always get your water tested. But specifically, we're looking at rural areas. In rural and semi-suburban areas, the quality of drinking water should be tested regularly. Why? Because in a rural area, it's still possible that you have old pipes, you have other issues, you have runoff, you have bacteria, or any problems. Why should it be tested regularly? To prevent any ill effects from contaminated water supplies. Monitoring your quality by having it tested regularly is an important part of maintaining a safe and reliable water source. And since farms and other rural properties tend to draw their water from a private source, such as a lake, river, or well water, or even water quality treatment plant, and filtration systems are not offered by the state or province. And that's one downside. So if you're in Staten Island and you're thinking, what am I going to do? Because there's an issue where there's a lot more resources in a big city. And it's kind of a trade-off in a sense. In a big city, you're going to have people closer together, and there's potential for issues there as well. There's advantages and disadvantages, obviously, to being in the city versus a rural area, but you want to consider that maybe in a rural area you're not going to get as much treatment, as much filtration, and you could have a lot more potential for hard water or other problems, maybe heavy metals, things like that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Water quality and treatment filtration systems are not offered by the state or province. So it's the responsibility of the property owner to ensure the quality of the drinking water. Now you might say, well, I can get some filters. I can try different methods. Maybe I can do some home testing, which are all possibilities. But at the end of the day, you don't know what is in your water. And water is something you use every day. You're going to use it probably after watching this video. Take a shower, get a cup of water, use it to cook. You're using it all the time. Don't you want to know what's in there? If you're a rural area like Staten Island, you probably definitely need to get it periodically tested. Why? The agricultural regions are more vulnerable to water pollution at the source than urban regions. As I said, there's advantages and disadvantages, city versus rural. Farms and suburban areas are near to agricultural regions, or that were once agriculturally oriented, will often draw from unmonitored water sources that can be contaminated by a variety of means. Farm runoff is the next leading cause of water pollution behind industrial chemicals. Large industrial-sized farms, even most family-owned and operated, put out large amounts of fertilizer and pesticides and spread them over huge areas of land. Rain drags a toxic mist of poison and other biomatter into the drainage ditches, which run to the main water body. Frequently, new suburban housing developments and old rural communities do not have expensive filtration systems found in cities, and these sources of contamination are not controlled. That's why testing the water accurately and thoroughly will give the homeowner a basis knowledge to tackle the specific source of problems in the water supply. And if you're on a farm, if you own a farm, if you're close to a farm, farms will use the water supply for several tasks aside from drinking, and it's important to separate the water based on its intended purpose. Obviously, drinking water should be given the highest level of water filtration. So, most bacteria are invisible to the naked human eye. You're not going to see E. coli, you're not going to see Legionella, you're not going to see parasites or pathogens in the water, and even on your hand or in the air. And they can only be discovered by a professional experience in testing water and Staten Island and quality analysis. So if you're in the Staten Island area or rural area in New York, this is the time to get your water tested for different things, as we talked about runoff from agricultural areas, or bacteria, pathogens, or anything else. Use water every day. So if you're in a rural area and you don't have the same resources as an urban area, it's a great idea to get your water tested and analyzed.